afternoon and welcome back to race 2, this time for the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup for round 3 at the Petronas Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia. Now this morning we saw an absolutely brilliant performance from Ryota Agiwara, absolutely dominant, lapping in the 217s almost every lap, just dipped down into the 218s for a bit, but he ultimately pulled nearly a 10-second gap on Seiryu Ikigami, and Badli Ayatullah finishing on the final spot on the podium for his maiden podium. And it was really such exciting action that we had. Nopropong Bumprawes as well. A good finish from him in 4th. And Haruki Matsuyama, Shingo Edaka, Alfonsi de Quigan, and Archie Schmidt all putting on a strong fight in the second big group at the back. Mahdi Salem as well, finishing in 9th. And Pancharuk finishing in 10th. This is what it looks like for the Petronas Sepang International Circuit in race 2. 15 turns, 5.5 kilometers long. And we have 2 pretty long straights, nearly 1 kilometer long each. And that's where it's going to play a big factor, the slipstream. Down from turn 14 to 15 and 15 to turn 1. The slipstream becomes a huge factor, and that's why it's absolutely a big priority for them to quickly latch onto the front runners, because the second you start to split away from the front running group, it gets really difficult to try and catch up. As of right now, the heat is rising around the Petronas Sepang International Circuit. It did look a bit cloudy. We had scattered clouds and I thought that we might have a potential for rain. We might even just have an overcast, but it looks like there's a break in the clouds and we will have some properly hot action. The Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup serves as the road to MotoGP, and the road to MotoGP definitely works. You can see that it starts at ATC, and we've had plenty of riders come up through the ranks. We had, of course, one of the most notable mentions, Ayogura. Went on all the way through Moto2 with a brilliant season, brilliant performance, and he managed to clinch the championship title on his second attempt. 2023 was here in Sepang actually, that where Ayogura made a mistake into turn 9 and didn't win the championship on that occasion. But 2024, he solidified his name and went on to be a MotoGP rider. Started off the season as well brilliantly on the Trackhouse MotoGP bike. Of course, we can't forget Southeast Asian talent Somkiat Chantra, currently races in MotoGP as well. So many names have risen through the ranks from Asia Talent Cup. Look at the current crop as well. Ayumu Sasaki, another one who was a big contender for the Moto3 title. Now currently rides in Moto2. Dennis Onchu as well, another one who's gone up to Moto2. This is really a great pathway to the top. Of course, from Southeast Asia as well, we have the likes of Hakim Danish, Veda Iga Pratama, who currently compete in the Rebel Rookies Cup. There's a typical platform, the next step after the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup to the Rebel Rookies Cup, European Talent Cup as well, and then on to Moto3. Of course, we have rumors circulating that Hakim Danish might get a wild card opportunity the MotoGP Sepang round for Moto3. So it's been done in the past where Sepang brings one of the young Malaysian talents for a wildcard ride in Sepang. And on occasions it has proven really well, and it's going to be a great opportunity for Hakim to prove his worth. He was also circulating that him and Veda might be heading to Moto3 next season. Zematani, who's still getting used to the Rebel Rookies Cup and the European Talent Cup. He's been improving in his performance. I'm looking forward to seeing what Zen can bring for the 2026 season there. Kiranda Ramadipa, another one in the Rebel Rookies Cup who really has impressed. Last season in the Asia Talent Cup, Kiranda was a proper contender. Well, some people thought it might have been early for him to already make the step up to Rebel Rookies Cup. He has proven his worth. He's getting a good look at the bikes there as the riders just get ready, just get into the mindset for the race coming up. Ryota Ogiwara there, he's going to be full of confidence, and the question on his mind and everyone else's mind is, can anyone stop the championship leader? 125 points is what Ryota Ogiwara has collected so far after 5 races. Sergio Kigami, 5 second places. No Prapong Bumpro as well. Good job from him to score a decent points in race 1. He maintains his position in 3rd. Shingo Hidaka with 54 points in 4th. Then we have Mahdi Salim, rider from Palestine, who had his best finish in race 1. Best finish of the season in 9th. Of course, second opportunity now. They'll be fresh from race 2. Sorry, fresh from race 1 for race 2. It's all smiles in the paddock for now. Everyone's just enjoying this last little breath of fresh air before the action gets underway. Davino Brittani's bike there, number 13. Young 16-year-old Indonesian. Promising talent, another one from Indonesia. The talent pool that Indonesia has is truly amazing, and Honda Indonesia really putting in some good work to deliver the results. There's a nice scenic shot across the palm trees. It shows you how close the Kuala Lumpur International Airport really is to the circuit. It's a short 15-minute drive from here. We are really nestled right in the middle of palm plantations in Sepang. There's another good look at KLIA. Yeah, it is getting much hotter. I think track temperatures were around about the mid 30 degrees Celsius, if I saw correctly earlier. I think it should be rising up to around about 40 degrees. Shouldn't be any problem for the Pirelli tires on these NSFs. And again, with temperatures rising, there will be the factor of tire temperature. They will need to manage that correctly. And you can see, I think when we talk about just pure understanding of the limits and just managing pace, Ryota displayed something really well in race 1. He displayed that fact really well. You could see in the early portion of the race, he had a bit of a struggle off the line. But then he started pushing, pulled a bit of a gap, maintained that gap just at about 1.5 seconds. And then in the last 5 or 6 laps, Ryota started to pull the pin, and he started setting all those 217s. Really good control from Ryota. Let's go look at Davino. Davino with the number 7. Badli Ayatullah with the number 13. 16-year-old Indonesian riders trying to make their way and follow the steps of Mario Suryoaji, as well as Kiandra and Veda Ega. Speaking of the progression from the Asia Talent Cup, Hakim Danish, the 2022 champion, currently leads the Red Bull Rookies Cup. Veda Ega, who comes back from an injury, mind you, back this first win, and is starting to try and claw back the points deficit. The beautiful thing about racing is it really isn't over until the final checker flag is waved at the end of the season. As Sharf Muris, who the Malaysian riders, one of 2, Daniel another one. He's been training under the Sepang program as well. We saw moments of brilliance from Sharf, but just towards about midway of the race, when he made that error into turn 14 in race 1, just dipped it behind a little. But the good thing for riders like Sharf, he struggled early on in the season, but now this might boost his confidence slightly. He knows now that he can attack and he can take opportunities. It could change his entire progression for the season. Sometimes all it takes is one very good result to change the mindset, to change how much braver a rider can ride. cars heading out now. So might as well exit the pit soon. You can see it's properly heating up here at the Petronas Sepang International Circuit. We're really treated to some good weather this weekend. Forecasts have been for rain, but Sepang being Sepang never really follows rules when it comes to the weather. Forecasts tend to be wrong here. Everyone just getting ready. The bikes are getting started now. I'm just wondering for Mahendra. I saw him come back into pit lane and retire from the race after rejoining the race. And it looked a bit like he struggled with the front brakes. Didn't get any confirmation on that from him, but it seemed like it from what he was immediately checking when he retired from the race. So hopefully everything's all smooth sailing for Alvaro. You see some Malaysian fans there. So it's good to see the family and friends of the riders coming down to the circuit. And this can be a big mental boost for the contenders. For Sharf and Adam, they'll be looking to really put in a good result for the final race day here for round 3. After this, we have 3 more rounds for the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. Next up will be on the 28th of September. Mobility Resort Motegi, Honda's playground. That's going to be a real challenge for non-Japanese riders who have never ridden there. It's a technical, challenging track, Motegi, especially with the downhill run into the final few turns. After that, in October, they'll be heading to Mandalika. Beautiful seaside of Mandalika, and that's really one of the most beautiful locations for a race circuit. Another one that's really going to test the non-Indonesian riders who race there locally. So you can expect good results from the likes of Badli, Davino Brittani, as well as Alvaro Mahendra when they head over to Mandalika. And then finally in October, they come back for the Petronas Sepang International Circuit, which will mean that for the likes of Adam and Daniel, if Adam Daniel and Shaf Muris, if they don't really manage to score a big result here, there is another opportunity right at the end. There's a nice mix of circuits that we have for the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. Chang International Circuit with its really long straights and a really hard braking zone into the last turn. Just a good look at Alfonsi there. I'll share with you guys a bit about what Alfonsi mentioned about the race start, which could be the reason why Ryota also didn't manage to get away well. But yeah, just speaking of the mix of circuits, you have Losail as well. That was for round 2. And then Petronas Sepang International Circuit, Motegi, Mandalika. It's a really good mix of tracks. But yeah, one thing that Alfonsi did mention to me during our lunch break, he said that the start procedure took a bit longer than he expected, so he had held his bike in first gear for quite a while, and it cooked up the clutch a little bit, which might have caused him to get bogged down a little bit at the start. And looking at how Ryota started as well, it could be one of the reasons why he didn't get away well. Definitely now with the heat picking up, if that were to happen again, it could really put a dent into Ryota's start. The issue for many of the riders will be to try and match Ryota's pace, because towards the end, when everyone was lapping in the 19s and 20s, 219s, 220s, Ryota somehow managed to pull in 217s. It was only on the very last lap where he slowed down a little bit because he celebrated across the line. Looking out for this race too, it'll be interesting to see what Archie Schmidt can do in this one. Archie was well within that group for the 4th place fight. Let's go look at Kim Min-jae, the South Korean. J, who has been traveling back and forth to Spain as well. That's where he's spending most of his track time. Last year he spent a lot of track time in Malaysia, in Sepang actually. Now he's been training and racing in Spain, and now trying to prove his worth through the Asia Talent Cup. It's good to see a South Korean representative. He's racing in multiple championships as well this season, so he's got a really busy 2025 ahead. Another one I'm going to be looking out for is Haruki Matsuyama. Haruki seemed really strong throughout turn 5 and 6. Just towards the sector 3 and sector 4, where he just couldn't match the pace of Shingo Hidaka and Pancharuk. Nopropong. Oh, I mean, he has a lot of track time in Sepang Nopropong. Honda Thailand used to use Sepang as one of the development grounds for the riders and their bikes. So Nopropong with track knowledge, so he'll be another one to look out for. The key for them in race 2, for the battle for 4th place, will be to not let Seiryu Kagami and Badley run away this time. If they can latch behind the two of them, they will we'll probably see a group of 7 or 8 riders all battling for the final podium spots, and that would be really something. And if they can slow down Ryota Ogiwara and pull him back and try to make it a proper fight all the way, it would be really exciting. Seiryu Kagami there. 5 times has Ikagami finished in 2nd place. And you'll have to wonder if at any point will Ryota Ogiwara manage to give away. So this is what the points looks like currently for the 2025 season after race 1 this morning. Ryota with 125 points, 5 times he gets 25 points. Seiryu Ikagami with 2nd place in every race. And Nopropong Bumprares, after his P4 finish, he's got a total of 64 points. And now the battle for the final top 3 spots really gets interesting. Shingo Hidaka with 54, 10 points behind. Alfonsi only 4 points behind Shingo Hidaka. Badley Ayatollah, after his maiden podium, has 49 points. Haruki Matsuyama 48 points. So it's really tight between the final 3rd spot battle. Tyrion Fleming as well in 8th. And Navino Brittani then, the young Indonesian, 16 points. Bodhi Page is another one I'm really looking for a good result from. He's a very highly rated Australian rider. 14 points he has so far for this season. Mahdi Salim 14 points after a good finish in P9. Archie Schmidt as well, another strong finish from him. Kim and Jay 10 points, in the Malaysians, Adam Daniel and Shaf Muris in 18th and 20th. 7 and 5 points respectively. Ricky Hendry sandwiched between them. Nguyen Hutri, 5 points for him after a decent finish early on in the season in Buriram. Alvaro Mahendra. Then it's Chen Shiyu with 1 point. We can see again where some riders just have that little bit of extra pace when they have that track knowledge. Hutri is actually one of the riders who also trains a lot at the Sepang International Circuit, but just hasn't managed to convert it into results for this weekend. But in Buriram, Nguyen Hutri managed to collect some decent points, managed to collect 5 points over race 1 and race 2. As the time ticks, the warmers are being pulled off now, off those Pirelli tires. Riders get ready now to head out. The road to MotoGP begins here. It's been proven time and time again. Let's see who's the next one to make their name into the World Championship. Right now, I'm really impressed with Ryota Ogiwara and Seiryu Ikagami. Nopropong Bumprares as well, his consistency. There'll be names that will be looked at for the 2026 season in the ETC and the Rebel Rookies Cup. Alfonsi as well, the Filipino representative. He's been improving every time. someone always with a positive attitude, Alfonsi. Jacob Fleming as well, another one which will be looked at. Young tire rider looking to make his way through. Missing from this run, of course, is Sarthak Chavan, who's a very highly rated young Indian talent. Bikes are lined up there. And the numbers ascending. Roki Matsuyama is right at the front there, number 2. You can see the heat haze as the camera looks down on pit lane, and it's going to be interesting because with the heat rising, this could bring a whole new factor. Of course, one will be fatigue. Number 2, tires. Will they overheat if they push a bit too hard? As of right now, no sign of this sunshine going away. It's going to be a properly hot and sunny race. It won't be contrasting because the action on track will be just as hot. There we go, the rumble. These NSF 250Rs. Fill up the track. They'll be ready to get on the way. They'll be heading out. Will be in their respective grid positions after qualifying yesterday. It's the final opportunity to score big points here as we cross midway through the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup season. The road to MotoGP. It all begins here. Of course, the Malaysian riders Shaf Mudris and Adam Daniel will be looking for good finish this time round after missing out on points early on in race 1. Adam Daniel scoring just the 1 point. Shaf Muriz with 3 points. They would love a top 10 finish here, and I think they really weren't that far either. They just need a really good start, and looks like I've eaten my words as well because the cloud cover has come. We do have scattered clouds all over the Petronas Sepang International Circuit. Here we go now, the rumble begins. Who will come up victorious? Will it be Ryota Ogiwara to make it 6 out of 6? Will Seryu Kigami and Badli Ayatullah have a say in this one? Again, what really impressed me from Badli, in Qatar we saw him being too far away from a podium spot, and in Thailand as well he finished strong in race 1. But it's just how calm and composed he looked on the bike. That was really interesting. And it was a complete contrast to Seryu Kigami, who looked like he was struggling to find stability under braking. Was as well. Super aggressive towards the end of the race. Well in control. They trundle down now. Pit lane. You can just see from the camera shot how hot it really is out there. Right around this time, with this kind of sunshine, we can expect Sepang's track temps to be well in the 40 degrees Celsius. It's quite typical. It's not intensely hot today for Sepang standards. Mid 40 degrees Celsius are very normal track temps. Soar up to the 50s, and in the past we've seen even 60 degrees Celsius on track, and that really eats up the rubber. Come on now, and you can just see Fonzie there. He's pushing quite hard already. He's trying to get into the mindset for the race later. He did mention to me as well that he's looking for a really strong start this time around. For a lot of the riders, it looked like they had the pace to catch up to the front duo. Same with Ikigami and Badli Ayatullah. Again, just when Ikegami and Badley managed to pull away early on, they had great starts. That's when the gap started increasing. And that's really the key thing to have with lightweight motorcycle riding. When slipstream becomes such a massive factor, you can't let the front run away. Starting straight away from turn 1, you have to be ready to attack. Really, it builds these young riders for their starts in the future when they ride bigger bikes such as the Moto2 or the MotoGP machinery. Some fans in the stands supporting their local riders and riders from around the region. So right across pit lane. Friends and family with the Malaysian flags as well. Ramadipa's mechanic as well from the ETC is here today with Davino Bertani. He was just mentioning on how Kyandra's progression from the ETC to the Rebel Rookies Cup and the European Talent Cup has been really impressive. He's gotten so much quicker, and you can see from the way Kyandra rides as well. That's the interesting thing. The champions are almost guaranteed to progress in such fantastic form, but those who finished or contested for the podiums non-stop, they also have something special about them, and it's all about nurturing that talent. And that's where pathways such as Asia Talent Cup, the Rebel Rookies Cup, are so important for a young rider's career. It helps them to develop the mentality, and they're all on same machinery here. They're all using the NSF 250R, so there's nothing but pure talent and skill that separates them. And as we've seen in the past, previous champions really have risen to the occasion. There's our poleman and 5-time winner for this season, Ryota Ogiwara. Can he do it for the 6th time this season? Seiryo Ikegami, who finished 2nd for the 5th time this season. He finally slowed down his fellow countryman Ryota. In 3rd, Shingo Hidaka missing out after not getting the best of starts.
Good luck.
In the end, he could only contest for 4th spot down to the finish. Ultimately lost out to Nopropong Bumprawes. We still, of course, have 3 more rounds after this, so plenty of points to grab. Badley Aitullah, who got his first podium in race 1 this morning, he'll be looking to get on the podium again and maybe even better. Haruki Matsuyama, who looked really, really strong. I was so impressed with how Haruki was attacking in turn 5. Seems to be a favorite spot for him, so look out for Haruki Matsuyama move into turn 6 from turn 5. Pancharuk didn't have the greatest of finish race 1, but he will start from 6th again. And you can see how important the starts are. If they lose touch with the fast group in front, it's really hard to catch it back midway race. Alfonsi there will be looking for a better result. He's already doing so much better than he was last season, and that's why we want to see the improvements of these young riders as they make a name for themselves. Nopropong Bumprawes, after finishing 4th in race 1, you think he might fancy a shot at a podium finish. Davino Bertani starts from 9th, the young 16-year-old Indonesian. Seemed to struggle a bit in race 1. But again, it's a 2nd opportunity now. Similar conditions, dry, completely dry, just a tad bit hotter as we are in the tropical climate of Malaysia. Archie Schmidt, who was at the back of the group battling for 4th the whole time in race 1, and just seemed to struggle to find a way past a few of the riders. This is opportunity number 2 for him. Next to Archie is Adam Daniel. Both Malaysians scoring points. And there's Hakim Danish, a 2022 champion, current Red Bull Rookies Cup leader. Red Bull Rookie Cup winner as well this season. Lots of rumors circulating around Hakim Danish's progression. Will he go to Moto3 next season? There's rumors around about that. There's rumors that he will wildcard in Sepang for Moto3 this year. Shaf Morris, another young Malaysian talent. Showed a good fight in the race. Just lost touch towards the end. 3 minutes board being held at the front. We're preparing to get on the way. Tieran Fleming, Thailand representative. I was watching his interview with Rossi about race starts. It was quite a fun one to watch. Mahdi Salim, the young Palestinian rider. Looking for another good finish. Finished in 9th. And if he can latch himself behind that group running in front of him, pace-wise, he should have no issue following them. Tanachat Pratumtong, Thai rider. He scored 4 points in race 1. Just struggled to keep behind the likes of his fellow countryman Nopropong. As the safety car arrives at the back of the grid, Kim Min-jae, the South Korean. Will he be able to score more points in this one? With his experience in Sepang, you wouldn't bet against it. Alvaro Mahendra, after a really disappointing retirement, he will looking to finally finish this one strongly. There's Ricky Henry, another young Aussie. Makes his way across, and the Oceania representative will be looking for a stronger race this time. They'll know what happened in race 1 and take knowledge of what they can do better. Nguyen Hui Tri, another one who will be looking for a strong finish here. Some riders who really are experienced in Sepang, you think after race 1, race 2, they're going to give 110%. There's Chen Shiyu, second ever female rider in the Asia Talent Cup. After great Clara Sarapuech. Clara went on to race in many different categories at the top. This is the proving ground. The road to MotoGP begins here at the Asia Talent Cup. And this is what the grid looks like for race 2. Ryota Ogiwara, his opportunity from pole to make it 6 out of 6. Serio Ikegami in second. Completing the front row is Shingo Idaka. Row 2 begins with Badli Ayatollah in 4th. 5th is Haruki Matsuyama. 6th, Pancharuk Chitwirul Chat. Row 3 begins with Alfonsina Quigan. 8th, Nopropong Bumprawes, and in 9th, Davino Brittani. 10th is Archie Schmidt. 11th, Adam Daniel. 12th, Shaf Morris. 13th, Tieran Fleming. 14th, Mahdi Salim. 15th is Tanachat Pratumtong. 16th, Kim Min-jae. 17th, Alvaro Mahendra. 18th is Ricky Henry. 19th, Nguyen Hui Tri. Nelson Kairoli in 20th, and completing 21 riders, Chen Shiyu. Riders, 5.5 kilometers long, 11 laps. That is what we have ahead of us for race 2 of the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. Who will come out victorious? Who's going to start making a name for themselves as we reach midway through the 2025 season? Gorgeous weather here around the Petronas Sepang International Circuit. As mentioned earlier, we thought that there might be a bit of rain this weekend, but thankfully the skies are clear and we're going to see some excellent dry action. See again, Alfonsi wasting no time to ride a bit aggressive. He's looking to really get a strong start this time round. So make the way around turn 11 into 12. So to wonder what tricks some of the riders might want to pull into turn 1. They did manage to slow Ryota Ogiwara down for a bit. Seiryu Ikegami and Badly Ayatollah after their brilliant starts in race 1. They've got to do it all over again. Badly there right behind Alfonsi. This one for them now is that they've arrived at the grid so early on that I'm just going to heat up a bit and the tires might just cool down slightly. Should be no issue for these talented young riders coming up through the ranks. Form up now into their respective grid spots. Let's see once again, Ryota Ogiwara in no hurry to get to the pole position spot. Well, a bit faster than he was in race 1. Alfonsi and Badly there already in their grid positions. Ryota, the pole man, gets ready for potentially another fight for 6 out of 6. The road to MotoGP begins here at the Asia Talent Cup. It has been proven time and time again. Green flag waved behind the grid. 4 red lights will be shown on top. And we are off. And this time, a much better start from Ryota Ogiwara, but once again, Seiryu Ikegami absolutely rips off the line and gets into first place momentarily, but coming on the inside is Pancharuk to lead the way into turn 1, but he goes wide, and Seiryu Ikegami takes back first position, but my oh my, what a start from Pancharuk. This is looking much better for him in this race. Ooh, getting a bit RNG-bargy into turn 2, and it's a big moment there. At turn 2, didn't see who that was, but not sure if it was a save or not. For now at the front, now this is interesting. Seiryu Ikegami trying to pull away, but he's brought Ryota Ogiwara as company. Behind them, Shingo Hidaka leads the charge for the group behind. Oh, we have a casualty at turn 4. Was that Alfonsi? Looked like 22. Get a good look. Wendy Salim had the best first sector. Number 20. Oh, that's unfortunate. Shingo Hidaka was leading the charge from the group behind, and he can't rejoin this race. And oh, you can see how disappointed he is with himself. That is so unfortunate for Shingo. But at the front, Ryota Ogiwara regains first position. Seiryu Ikegami aggressive, leg dangling to turn 9, block passes into turn 9. That was a beautiful move. If anyone wants to know how to overtake at turn 9 at the Petronas Sepang International Circuit, Seiryu Ikegami has just displayed that beautifully. And this becomes interesting. They are pulling away from the group behind. Alfonsi has gone up into third position. What a start this time from the young Filipino. They follow Ikegami now. He's just keeping his body low, tucked in, trying to gain any advantage through wind resistance. Ryota, he's going to get that slipstream behind Ikegami. Ryota's certainly going to make a move into turn 15. But the question is now, will Ryota be able to pull away from Ikegami? Badly reaches the front of this big group behind them. The struggle for them now is Ikegami and Ogiwara running away at the front. It looks at this one, the gap is already 2 seconds. It's a big gap to try and catch up. Ikegami holding on to first place. Badly maintains the gap that he had out of turn 15. Badly looking impressive now that he's at the front. He's trying to claw back that gap. He'll need to really push on for the next couple of laps to try and make it happen. Get the slipstream behind them. And Tyrone Fleming, the tire rider, unfortunately for him, His race ends at turn 15. Oh, he's brought Daniel as well with him, Adam Daniel, local Malaysian rider. That's unfortunate. The pair of them out at turn 15. We didn't see what happened. That is really unfortunate for race 2. Back at the front, Ikegami still leads the way from Ryota Ogiwara. Ogiwara now looked on the inside at turn 7. Ogiwara tries to make a move, but Ikegami just a bit stronger on the brakes. It looks like whatever was holding Ikegami back on the braking in race 1, he has solved that issue. But it looks like Ryota got excellent drive out of turn 8, but Ikegami on the inside is going to defend his line, and he does beautifully. Ikegami riding with full confidence. Could he be the one to put a stop in Ryota Ogiwara's dominance this season? A pair of them running the show at the front, the 2 young Japanese riders. And in this large group, we have 12 riders all jousting for positions. A very different race this time round compared to race 1. See Ryota Ogiwara, he's just pulling out wide, just trying to see where he can take advantage, and he's not really too bothered with getting maximum slipstream from Ikegami just as of yet. He's looking the inside, doesn't attack at turn 15. Ogiwara. Fastest sector 3 just came from Alfonsi de Kruigen. Alfonsi at the front of this group comes across the line. In 3rd place, Ayatollah right next to him, side by side after that slipstream. And now this is an opportunity for Alfonsi as well as Bali to try and pull away from the group behind them and have a 2-way battle for the final podium spot. Wide there, that was, I believe, Madi Salim. So this is a good start from Madi Salim as well. He's well within this group. And at the front is still Ikegami. That's the beauty of motorcycle racing. You can have 2 races at the exact... Oh, Ikegami nearly getting a bit wild into turn 4. Yeah, you can have 2 races at the exact same circuit on the same day, but the results can be completely different. Ikegami. If you look at the championship, Ikegami is only 25 points behind Ryota Ogiwara. So Ikegami is still very much in the championship battle. Alfonsi was our fastest rider across the line. The fastest lap of this race so far after 2 laps, 2:18.6. Ikegami again, defensive line into turn 9. And yeah, you can see there, there's a bit of a gap between Alfonsi and Bali Ayatollah and the group behind them. They continue to break away from the pack, and they might be successful. With the slight advantage, Bali's going to get a good slipstream down from turn 14. Britannia as well in the group behind them. 9 riders in the group behind Alfonsi and Bali. In that battle, we have Avenue Britannia, Madi Salem, Shaf Muhriz. Much better start from Shaf Muhriz. The podium fight will be a bit tough for him to reach, but as well within the proper fight for a top 5. Badley has a look on the inside of Alfonsi at turn 15. Badley goes on attack mode and he makes it stick, but looks like Alfonsi has the better line on the exit. But Badley stays in front for now. Alfonsi gains a bit of slipstream on the exit and will be side by side with Badley Ayatollah. And it does look like, as for now, it's a 2-way battle for the final podium spot. At the front, Ikegami still holding off Ryota Ogiwara. Bali goes on the inside at turn 1. And behind them is a battle for Haruki Matsuyama, Chiburo Chabun Prawes, Madi Salim, Archie Schmidt, Shaf Muhriz as well. One in Shaf Muhriz. Love to find a way to the front. He would fancy a strong finish here. He's going to give everything. Ryota Ogiwara has a look on the inside, but still doesn't attack Ikegami. Ryota might be playing this safe. He might just want to score maximum points championship-wise and maybe just leave it to the very last lap to pull the pin, because we know Ryota has superior pace. He's lapping in the 2:17s consistently. watching here is the battle for fifth. Definitely a large group, but trying to pull away there. Haruki Matsuyama. It's not too far behind Badley and Alfonsi. Actually find a way behind them and latch onto their slipstream. Still have 8 laps to go, so plenty of time for things to switch about. So this is an incident between Fleming as well as Daniels under investigation to be reviewed after the race. We didn't exactly see what happened there, but it was at turn 15. Looking at the battle for first spot between Ikegami and Ryota Ogiwara. Second in the championship with 100 points is Sergio Ikegami. 125 points in first is Ryota Ogiwara. Ryota looks a bit like he's going a bit aggressive now. He might be looking at a move into turn 15. He goes side by side with Ikegami, and round the outside is an attempt by Ryota Ogiwara, which is a brave move around turn 15, but he does get really good driving. There's contact between 1 and 2 in the championship. Ikegami comes across the line, still in first. Bumpra West sets the fastest second and third sectors for this race. And Ryota has another look at the inside. Badley with a nice overtake into turn 1. Very clean. Alfonsi, this is a good race from Alfonsi. Young Filipino really trying to find his way onto the podium. He's been so close a couple of times this season. He was close in Thailand in round 1. He's even closer this time round in race 2 for round 3. 18 riders left in this race. Alvaro Mahendra in 18th. Fancy McQueen getting a good look at the lines for turn 5 and 6. Very similar between Alfonsi and Badley Ayatollah. Both of them looking really strong in the braking. No one really making much of an error. The good thing for them is they are running as a pair uncontested, so this might help them try to find a way to close the gap. And if you look at the visual, it does look like they're closing the gap. And if you look at lap times as well, on the previous lap, Alfonsi and Badley Ayatollah were lapping low 219s, whereas Sergio Ikegami and Ryota Ogiwara were lapping the higher 219s. So tell you what, the battle for the victory might not be over. We might see a 4-way fight for the #1 spot. Just looking at the screen now, just trying to look at the sector times and see what it's looking like. If we look at sector 3 again, Alfonsi was faster than either first or second place Ryota Ogiwara or Ikegami. They do have 6 more laps after they cross the line to try and make a difference. Prabon Bumprawes arrives at the front of the battle for the top 5 spots, but in front of him, it's still the hard-charging Haruki Matsuyama. And Ryota side by side with Ikegami, but Ikegami aggressive into turn 1. And even more aggressive. That was Chidwiro Chat into turn 1. And he makes himself go up a few positions up into 5th. Back at the front, still Ikegami. You start to wonder whether Ryota is just trying to force Ikegami into a bit of a mistake. He's made a few attempts, but he hasn't really made anything stick. But for now, it is only benefiting Alfonsi and Badley Ayatollah. They are starting to close in sector 1 alone. Badley Ayatollah was nearly 4/10 faster than Ryota Ogiwara. Ikegami and Ryota have to be really careful now, because with 6 laps to go and the gap only being just slightly over a second and a half, it is going to boost the confidence of Alfonsi and Badley. Someone's gone really wide there, turn 7 and error. Trying to use the double apex there into turn 8. And who's that has gone wide. We couldn't see the number there, but it looks like it might have been Salim, but we look back at the front here. It's still Haruki at the front, but Bumpravez is still charging his way through at turn 10. Haruki Matsuyama trying to pull a bit of a gap on the last lap. Haruki managed to clock in a 2:19.5, just equal to the riders in front of him. This is a look at Bumpravez, and it's just behind Bumpravez. Was that Pancharok? He's made an error there. Pancharok looking really strong into turn 1 on this lap, but maybe just pushing a little bit too hard there. Now back at the front, Ryota Ogiwara pulls side by side, but look at this. This gets interesting. Now Alfonsi has arrived behind the front two, and he has pulled Batli Ayatollah as well into this. This gets interesting now. You see the lap board there being held. As for Seiryu Ikegami, the gap shown 1.7, but right now on this lap it has dropped down to less than a second. And this is going to be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. We will have a four-way battle for the victory with 5 laps to go. And as I said before, nothing in racing is done until the checkered flag is waved. And what looked like Ikegami and Ryota pulling away, now we have a 4-way battle. And race start infringement, number 18, long lap penalty. That's for Nguyen Hu Tri. Oh, that's unfortunate for Hu Tri. He had such a good start, running in 13th. He will have to perform a long lap penalty. That's at turn 14. It's not going to be disastrous, but it will disrupt his rhythm a little bit. And look at what we have here. Alfonsi on the inside of Ryota Ogiwara moves up into second place for the first time this race, and now he's set his eyes on Seiryu Ikegami. Ryota, will he start to panic now that there's 4 riders involved? And oh, Alfonsi clatters into the side of Ikegami into turn 9. Ikegami still too strong, but Alfonsi, that was a bit aggressive, going elbow to elbow with Ikegami. Alfonsi is hungry. Around turn 11 now they come. And you can see Alfonsi, his intention is to push hard and really try. He doesn't want just a podium, he wants a victory here in race 2. Alfonsi has a look on the inside, but Ikegami has always been really strong at turn 14. It's going to be really tough to beat Seiryu Ikegami into turn 14. Ryota Ogiwara just watching this from third. Batli Ayatollah, he's going to assess the situation. They go side by side now, Alfonsi. And Ryota pulls out even wider. We saw this on the previous laps with Ikegami. And under braking again, Ikegami strong. Oh, Alfonsi nearly losing his front tire into turn 15. Oh, this is going to be breathtaking. 4 laps to go as Ikegami crosses the start-finish line in first. And behind them, not too far behind, is Haruki Matsuyama. He's only 1.1 behind Batli Ayatollah. This might be 5-way battle, but Alfonsi goes into the lead for the first time into turn 1. And Alfonsi de Quegan, the young Filipino, he goes into first. Let's see what happened here going into turn 9 once again. Alfonsi goes straight while Ikegami was trying to be in the middle of the track. Yeah, I wouldn't blame either one for that. Both are side by side, just trying to tuck in for turn 9, but Alfonsi leads the way still into turn 1. I'm just wondering whether Haruki Matsuyama has anything in him to make this a 5-way battle with 4 laps to go. Leading the way still, Alfonsi de Quegan. Just wonder whether Ryota is going to try to attack this early on, whether he's happy to sit behind and watch them battle for the next couple of laps. Batli Ayatollah as well. Just have to wonder when he starts getting an idea to attack. Ikegami looked on the inside, not this time round. Batli Ayatollah, we saw him start to really push on the second to last lap. That's what we do see some riders try to make a bit of a break. The penultimate lap will be important. There's also rehearsal for the final lap at turn 15. One thing we know, Alfonsi has been strong under the brakes and his race line into turn 15, so it'll be interesting to see whether he decides to just hold on to the lead as long as he can. He's really wide, trying to get as much rolling speed through turn 14 there, Alfonsi. Ikegami looks on the inside, going under braking into turn 15, and Ikegami doesn't make a move here. Ryota Ogiwara pulling out wide again. An interesting choice of flying by Ryota Ogiwara. He's done that a few times. Maybe he's just trying something new. Alfonsi still holding on to the lead. This is really impressive. Alfonsi, Haruki Matsuyama is closing down to just a second. The gap sets the fastest lap of the race. On the inside now is Ryota Ogiwara, the championship leader, and Ikegami gets pulled in to second place with him. So Ryota might think now's the time to really push. Haruki Matsuyama has to respond quick if he wants to be within a shout for the race victory. On the last lap, Haruki Matsuyama clocked in a 2:18.3. Everyone else either a 2:18.4 or 2:18.6. Ikegami on the inside of Ryota Ogiwara. They're side by side as they go on the gas. Oh, Ryota Ogiwara. How has he managed to keep the bike under control? Alfonsi attempted to go on the outside there after that huge moment for Ryota Ogiwara. Ryota on the outside now of Ikegami. Long lap penalty for number 18 for Nguyen, 3 for his irresponsible riding. But on the inside at turn 7 is Alfonsi de Kruijgen. There's so much happening now. It's amazing for the final race of the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup here for round 3. And Ikegami now gets good drive out of turn 18. And he looks on the inside. He does make it stick once again. We still have 2 laps remaining right after this one. This is a proper battle. And I think this has helped Haruki Matsuyama as well. It looks like he's getting closer and closer, and he has arrived behind the front 4. This is going to be a 5-way battle for the race victory in race 2. Oh, and look at Haruki. Haruki takes a look on the inside, makes it stick on the inside of Badli Ayatollah. Leading the way is Seiryu Ikegami, Alfonsi, and then Ryota Ogiwara. Ikegami loses out to slipstream. Alfonsi pulls out wider this time than usual. And looking on the inside is Haruki Matsuyama already. They'll have 2 laps remaining after they come across the line. It's crunch time here at the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup for round 3 in race 2. Side by side, 3 riders abreast. Ryota, Alfonsi, and Ikegami. And Haruki closes in for an overtake into turn 1, and around the outside he attempts to go around Alfonsi. He moves up into P3. Ryota, the championship leader, down to P4. Badli Ayatollah again looking like he's just managing his nerves. He's not trying to get too excited yet. 2:18.290, the new fastest lap, clocked once again by Haruki Matsuyama. Good news there, Nguyen Tree has completed his long lap penalty. This is where we saw Ryota Ogiwara have quite a big moment into turn 4. And they go side by side into turn 5. Alfonsi's full with aggression, and look at that move by Haruki Matsuyama. Mentioned earlier how he loves turn 5 into turn 6 for the switchback. Apologies, that was Ryota Ogiwara. Haruki has gone to the front. And Ryota properly aggressive, but really cleanly done. Haruki Matsuyama, the current race leader, as they make their way into turn 9. Ikegami has a look on the inside, and he does, sliding the bike into turn 9. Nearly Supermoto-esque the way Haruki's riding that bike into turn 9. My oh my, this is much better from Haruki Matsuyama. Much better from Alfonsi as well. All he needed to do was slow down Ryota Ogiwara for the first few laps, and he clawed back that gap in just a few laps. This is amazing. This is marvelous to watch. Around turn 14, Ikegami leads. He's led most of this race. And Ikegami, he can sniff victory already, but It's going to be really tough as they make their way now into turn 15 for the penultimate time. Alfonsi goes into the lead into turn 15. Haruki a bit shaky into turn 15. He goes really wide and misses his line. Haruki trying everything. And now they come across the start-finish line to begin the final lap for round 3 in race 2. Ryota Ogiwara, will he miss out on the victory for the first time? Ayatollah goes into the lead just for a moment as Ryota Ogiwara holds that inside line, but Badly chooses the last lap to attack. Ryota Ogiwara, the new race leader, as we go down into turn 3. Can Ryota give himself a bit of breathing space before we reach turn 15? That's the most crucial part on the last lap here. Oh, and look at Ikegami on the inside of Ayatollah. Ikegami's not gonna leave this one. He's not gonna let this go easily. Ryota sets the fastest sector 1 time. He's the only one who's done a 28, the fastest of the race. Everyone else in the 29s. Ryota Ogiwara attempts to pull away from the group, but Ikegami says no thank you. He will be right on the tail of Ryota going into turn 9. Remember, Ikegami, he will fancy a move into turn 9. Strong in the brakes into this portion is Ikegami, and he looks on the inside of Ryota, but Ryota strong enough. Haruki on the inside of turn 9. Ooh, nearly makes it through on Ayatollah, but holds on. Ryota Ogiwara holds fending off the charge from Ikegami really well, but turn 15 is going to be where the question mark comes into play. Alfonsi just struggling to hold the pace now. He's currently running in 5th. And it looks like at this point, Alfonsi will have to really hope for a strong turn 15 push. Everyone's pushing on. The fastest sector 2 and sector 3 times have been set on this lap. On the final lap, and Haruki nearly loses the rear there. And down the back straight we go. Ryota Ogiwara, the championship leader. Will he make it 6 out of 6? For now, Ikegami has a look on the inside, gets a slipstream. Ikegami tries to look on the inside, but Ogiwara even stronger and somehow manages to get the bike stopped in time. But Ikegami, he will get the slipstream. Behind the pair of them is Badly Ayatollah, who looks like he will finish on the podium, but victorious for the 6th time in a row is the championship leader, Ryota Ogiwara. Oh, nearly a moment there. And second was Ikegami, Seiryu Ikegami, and Badly Ayatollah. A brilliant double podium for Badly in round 3. Oh, really takes your breath away. Alfonsi, another missed opportunity this time. He was so close. P4, best finish of the season for Alfonsi de Kriegen. What a race he puts on. Haruki Matsuyama almost within contention for the race victory. Oh, unbelievable action for the final race of round 3 for the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. But it was the dominance of Ryota Ogiwara at the Petronas Sepang International Circuit this time. We come back here once again in round 6. It seems that Ryota really loves it around here. The championship points between Ryota Ogiwara and Seiryu Ikegami. Seiryu Ikegami will have 120 points now. Ryota 150. So that point, the gap extends to 30 points for Ryota Ogiwara. Nippon Boom Prowess finishes up in 8th though, so with Shingo Hidaka missing out, Alfonsi will move up into 4th in the championship. Alfonsi will have a grand total of 63 points after this race 2 finish. Oh, really takes your breath away, this one. The road to MotoGP begins here. It has been proven time and time again. Seiryu Ikegami really putting on a good show as well this time round. Badly Ayatollah, what a rise to form from Badly. This could really change the way his championship progresses. for Badley as well. He scores 16 points after race 2, which actually pulls him ahead of Shingo Hidaka as well. So Badley moves up onto 5th in the championship. In the heat of Sepang, the action on track was even hotter. Ayatollah attempted a wheelie there by Nguyen Hu Tri after serving his long lap penalty, finished in 13th. A decent finish from Nguyen Hu Tri. He needed this one. Ryota Ogiwara, what a showman. He high-fives the marshals there at the side of the track. Ryota Ogiwara is going to be one to watch for the future. Zemetani, the dominant champion from 2024, is already progressing well in the Rebel Rookies Cup and the ETC Championship. Veda Pratama, Hakim Danish, another couple of fantastic riders, the previous champions. Ryota Ogiwara, he looks to join them next season. And look at that, nice stand-up once again from Ryota to celebrate. It was a brilliant couple of races here at the Petronas Sepang International Circuit. Sergio Kagami, you have to feel for him. He rode brilliantly. He just had no answer to Ryota Ogiwara. You can see refreshments there immediately after these properly hot conditions here at the Sepang International Circuit. Every now and then you see some really special talents coming up in two-wheeled motorsports. We saw it with Hakim Danish, we saw it with Veda Ega, we saw it with Ryota after this amazing midway points of the season. And look at that. Big smiles for Ryota. Hugs all around. Just looking across, decent finishes as well from Shaf Muhriz. As well as Davino Brittani. Davino finishes in 10th. Shaf Muhriz collects some points in 11th on home soil, and it was a shame for Adam Daniel, another Malaysian rider on race 2. He would have really liked to score some big points, but the story was not written that way for him today. Sergio Kagami, there has to be a race victory coming for him at some point this season. He absolutely rode his heart out for these past couple of races. Badley Ayatollah, another one who has risen to form. First podium in race 1 this morning, second podium in race 2. So after race 2, this is what it looks like. Ryota Ogiwara finishes the race with Sergio Kagami just a 10th behind in second. Badley Ayatollah in third. Afonso de Quigan, what a strong fight it was from him, but he finishes 4th. Haruki Matsuyama 5th. Pancharuk Chitril Chat in 6th. Archie Schmidt, a good finish from him in 7th. Noproprom Bumprawes in 8th. Tanachat Pratum Tong in 9th. Davino Brittani in 10th. In 11th is Shaf Muhriz. 12th, Mahdi Salim. 13th, good finish for Nguyen Hu Tri. Ricky Henry in 14th. 15th is Nelson Kairoli. 16th is Kim Min Jae. 17th is Chun Shi Yu. 18th is Alvaro Mahendra. And now completing this race was Tyrion Fleming and Adam Daniel, who came together in turn 15, it seems. And Shingo Hidaka as well, going down at turn 4. Such brilliant action for this round 3 of the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup. Two very different stories, and this is what the championship looks like. That's the 30-point deficit between Ryota Ogiwara after making it 6 wins in a row. Sergio Kagami with 120 points. Nopropong Bumprawes holds on to 3rd spot in the championship. Badley Ayatollah actually goes up into 4th. He leapfrogs ahead of Afonso de Quigan. 63 points. Haruki Matsuyama in 6th with 59 points. Shingo Hidaka 54 despite the DNF from race 2 in 7th. Tyrone Fleming in 8th. 9th, Tanachap Pratumtong. 10th is Pancharok with 28 points. Archie Schmidt, a good finish in 7th for him in race 2. He collects a grand total of 23. Davino Brittani in 12th. Sarthak Chaban, who's missing from this round, has 21 points. Nelson Caroli 14th. Mahdi Salim in 15th. Bodhi Page with 14 points in 16th. Kim and Jay 10 points in 17th. Shaf Muhriz 18th. Nguyen Hu Tri picks up a few more points. He has 8 points in 19th. 20th is Ricky Henry with 8 points. Adam Daniel in 21st after the DNF and a crash in turn 15. Alvaro Mahendra 22nd and Chen Shiyu in 23rd. A brilliant couple of races this has been. Sepang International Circuit. The flags, the 2 Japanese flags and the Indonesian flag. And in 3rd place in race 1 and race 2. Brilliant race. Another 3rd place for Badli Ayatollah after bagging his first podium in race 1. In 2nd for the 6th time in a row is Sergio Kigami. A great show he put on. But victorious for the 6th time this season, Ryota Ogiwara.
Now to start, I would like to invite Mr.
He's going to be feeling on top of this world after such a brilliant show after 6 rounds. And there's Hakim Danish, the former 2022 Asia Talent Cup champion and 2025 Red Bull Rookies Cup championship leader. Rumors all around on his future, but first and foremost, Badli Ayatollah in 3rd place in race 2. Nice late charge from Badli. In 2nd is the Japanese Seryu Ikegami. And victorious once again from Japan is Ryota Ogiwara for the 6th time this season. Now the national anthem of Japan shall play. Six in a row for Ryota Ogiwara. 6 times in 2nd place for Seryu Ikegami. And for the first time twice in 3rd for Badli Ayatollah this weekend. And Hakim Danish, the Red Bull Rookies Cup championship leader for 2025, stands alongside what could very much be future contenders for the World Championship. And smiles all around as they all those beautiful trophies in the shape of the Petronas Sepang International Circuit. An absolutely massive round for Badli Ayatollah. I really fancy him for strong finishes when the championship heads to Mandalika. Selfies with the trophies there.
Have a nice weekend.
It's not too happy with that one, and we'll take it again. And finally satisfied with the selfie. Satisfied with his performances as well this weekend. What a couple of races this has been. course, next round will be at the Mobility Motegi Resort. But first and foremost, this is what happened in race 2. It was once again a brilliant start from Ikegami, but challenging immediately was Pancharuk, who looked to bring in proper podium fights, but just lost out about midway through the race. It was a large battle initially, maybe about 9 to 10 riders, but Shingo Hidaka going down early at turn 4. Then 4 riders came into contention for the race victory. It looks like it might have been a proper fight for Alfonsi. And as Haruki arrived, they jousted all the way through into the final 2 laps. Ryota on the last lap decided to attack. Ikegami set his attempt at turn 9 but wasn't close enough. Ryota just far too strong under braking and really quite unstoppable. Ikegami had a really tight line into turn 15, had a good look, tried to open as early as he could, but ultimately Ryota Ogiwara, the script was for Ryota to get 6 out of 6 in the 2025 season of the Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup, and he heads into his home round with 150 points. See a very happy Ryota. Championship is all but done. It's only 30 points between Ryota Ogiwara and Seryu Ikegami, and there's still 3 rounds remaining. Anything and everything can happen in racing. It is only over when the checkered flag has been waved.